I think this is the last one we have. And this is, I think, another discussion video.
So Amazon is putting out a new cartoon about how Satan was secretly the good guy.
Once upon a time, there was a glowing city protected by golden gates, known as heaven. It was ruled by beings of pure light, angels that worshipped good and shielded all from evil. Lucifer was one of these angels. He was a dreamer with fantastical ideas for all of creation. But he was seen as a troublemaker by the elders of heaven, for they felt his way of thinking was dangerous to the order of their world. So he watched as the angels began to expand the universe in their ways. From the dust of earth, they created Adam and Lilith, equals as the first of mankind. But despite this, Adam demanded control, and Lilith refused to submit to his will. She fled the garden, drawn in by her fierce independence.
They just
Lucifer found her, and the two rebellious dreamers fell deeply in love. Together, they wished to share the magic of free will with humanity, offering the fruit of knowledge to Adam's new bride, Eve, who gladly accepted. But this gift came with a curse, for with this single act of disobedience, evil finally found its way into earth. With it, a new realm of darkness and sin, and the order heaven had worked to maintain was shattered. As punishment for their reckless act, heaven cast Lucifer and his love into the dark pit he had created, never allowing him to see the good that came from humanity, only the cruel.
So Satan's the victim now? So Amazon is putting out a new cartoon.
Bro, what?
Yo, that's mad wow, yo.
Okay, I've heard the story of like Lilith and how she got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. But this is kind of wild to me, actually.
But it's programming, bro.
I mean, that's literally like, ain't that how the story goes in the Bible? Like, literally?
Well, how Shay just said it?
Pretty much. Like, with the exception of...
Bro, he
like,
was misunderstood, and he just wanted to do creations and all of these great things for the world.
Wait, wasn't he a hater? Wasn't he a hater? He didn't like that humans have free will, right?
Yeah.
Yes. He was jealous of the creation of the human beings.
Yeah. And then he did start like a whole war on heaven and all that good stuff.
Because God wanted to, because I'm paraphrasing. It's been a long time since I've been in charge of it, but I'm pretty sure what God commanded of the angels was to serve and like protect the humans. The humans were the God's creation of choice.
Well,
and he didn't like that.
Angels were made to serve. Like
exactly.
That was their one role.
At it like we were
humans,
superior beings,
so he was upset.
I mean, like that and that whole thing, but that whole conflation of how they put it, it's just programming, right? And I'm not gonna get into a whole of what you believe in, like, or whatever religious things, but I will say, as far as what you believe is why you should have the influence over your kids, which is why the best foundation that has been shown time and time again to have worked has been like marriage where you have two parents in a household, a man and a woman raising the family. Father's the protector, provider, mom is the nurturer, takes care of the home and things like that. That's why those things worked, because that was how you had influence over your family. Yeah. You know, you had a woman who found a man who she admired, respected, wanted to build a life with and support him in his dreams and things like that. And that vision and in turn and how he was trickled down throughout his family. And even with that, you know, it was like it said when the men and women, he created them both as equals, but the man wanted to control the woman.
Right.
You know, but she refused, and then like come on, it just speaks further to it's all that's just straight up programming.
Yeah, I guess I didn't hear that part in the beginning.
In that, it can also show you that the people on that side that support things like that and those type of ideals, they can make anybody look like a victim. They make anybody look bad and make anybody look like a victim.
Do we know, like, all right, has anybody actually watched that? Like, what if the whole show is like a joke show? Like, it might just be like ridiculous to begin with. They might not actually be trying to say that that's what really happened. It's obviously like a weird looking cartoon.
Still wild.
The message is
wild.
You know, and I
don't think it's a joke because they brought up Lilith.
Yeah, but the only people that it would be like crazy to is people who are religious. Like, if you're not religious, it's like, oh yeah, it's just a cartoon.
But that's what they want.
Like all religion stuff, like all the stuff in the Bible, like those are stories told by somebody. This is not saying they're fake, but like those are just the interpretation of all these different people of what they went through. It's their version of it.
Yeah.
Like that's literally all mythology
where do we
and
draw the
like
line,
theology and
where do we draw the line where they're playing with religion like this though?
playing with it.
I mean, you can't.
People have been changing the way history or religion goes since the beginning of time. Like, how many different religions are there?
You draw your own personal line. You draw
Yeah.
your own personal line. It's just like what we talked about in the video with the guys that came for Sean Strickland. You can't draw that line for nobody else. It's up to you to draw the line for yourself. And then if you don't agree with it, and if it's something that you don't deal with, you exclude yourself from it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But the only problem with that is this is targeted towards children. You get what I mean?
It might not be though. It might be an
nowadays-
18 and up cartoon.
Bro,
You ever watch them? There's mad cartoons like that.
There's a lot of stuff. Invincible.
Yeah.
We don't, that's all I'm saying. It might
All
be
right,
like
yeah,
specifically
yeah,
a
sure.
crazy thing.
sure, let's say,
But still, kids are gonna wanna watch it.
Kids are going to watch it. Kids are going to watch it. That's the perfect example of that is, yeah, you're right. That's like the that one show. What was the movie they came out with, that Sausage Party?
Yeah.
I thought that was a fucking kids movie.
Right.
I
First,
sat
yeah.
my kids down. I'm about to watch this movie with my kids.
But whose job is that
And
to make
then-
sure it's fit?
And then
Same.
realized it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Really quickly. First song. You realize it's not a kids movie. You gotta hurry up and turn it off. But still, that doesn't mean. But still, my point in that saying is, kids are still probably going to have access to it because cartoons and animation is something that is geared towards children.
I get that, but if it says like
And-
this is an adult show and somehow your kid
doesn't matter.
watches it, it's
still
not
gonna
their
happen.
fault.
But you remember
It's still
as a
gonna
kid,
happen. And yes,
But
it is their fault because they put it because they're the ones that put it out.
When
there.
you
If
were
they
a
literally
kid-
say like, "Hey, I'm making something that's not for children,"
Like I was trying to
and
make
your
it
kid
watch-
watches it,
I
it's
you
not
watched
their
Adult
fault.
Swim.
The whole point that I
You
was about
watched
to try
Adult
to make,
Swim.
and you trying to be like that was just trying to like weird ass like I don't understand that, bro. Like
How?
maybe it's for kids. Like you trying to make a
I didn't
case
say it was for kids.
somehow of like how it was like
Maybe
maybe
it's for adults.
maybe it's for adults or maybe it's bro. It's clearly geared towards.
But it
didn't
is
even-
being
we don't
marketed.
even know what
It is
it's
being
about.
marketed
geared
as an
towards
adult
kids.
cartoon.
From what we just seen from that clip, it's clearly geared towards kids.
Did
You know what I
anybody
mean?
know what it's
And then, like I said, but like I was saying,
cartoon.
but like with the point or whatever that I was trying to get around to though, you can just ignore it, right? You can ignore the things, but the thing is they're gearing towards kids. The programming in today's society is geared towards kids. That's why the whole movement of women into the workforce in masses and all that was mainly pushed. I'm not saying that it's a wrong thing for women to go out and work or nothing like that, but I'm saying that's why the main thing was to push. They want mom and dad working so they can collect more tax money, and then they program your children. They can put stuff like this in front of your kids in school and you never know that they watched it.
It's true.
Which is why we just seen the clip before that. You see this kid sitting there combating as if he knows something or has a one-up on his parents. Because back in the day, you didn't do that to your parents. You get what I'm saying? What you thought your beliefs were your kids' beliefs. What you taught, your way of life, your morals were taught to your kids. And now
Yeah,
they're
'cause
being taught to them by a system.
Right, I understand that. That's not, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's usually the parents that tell the kids what they can and cannot watch. If some other guy's like, "Hey, I think this would be a hilarious adult cartoon," I'm literally saying it's
Again,
rated R, 18 and up.
What
and
I was
your
saying
kid
was,
happens
look,
to
look,
watch it. It's not
look,
his
look,
fault.
Even
I
as a
miss the
kid,
humor
bro,
in
you
it.
remember watching Adult Swim.
Yeah,
All the cartoons you weren't supposed to watch.
no, it's Adult Swim's literally like teen. It says 13 and up.
But you remember watching it as a
but-
kid.
But
Just
whose
like-
fault is that?
But here's the thing though, just to touch back on the previous video about the whole Sean Strickland thing. Just because I feel like you can have free speech, you feel you have free speech and you shouldn't be reprimanded, your life shouldn't be uprooted for because you have certain thoughts or certain beliefs. You also have to take into account the fact that what you put out in the world like that can reach a certain audience. And it can.
But what if, I'm just saying, what about for
And
all
it
the
can't-
people
it
who
can- it
don't
can reach
believe in
them.
religion at all? Why would they be offended by any of it?
It's not about being offensive. It's about the message behind it.
What's the The message is going against one thing, and that's religion.
It's not.
It's not. Whenever, bro, we'd have to go deep into like the religious points in the symbol of what Satan actually means in the Bible and how it's been carved out throughout the Bible of how you live your life and how the tyrant that he plays in that, if you will. And then for them to turn around to somebody now and this time to conflate that with, oh, he was just misunderstood or he just wanted good things for everybody and things like, come on, bro.
I'm saying if you're religious, then that would offend you very much.
It's not about being offended. It's about
they're changing your story.
It's about throwing a wrench in a way of life that's been proven to work for generations and generations.
Religion?
Yeah, people have lived their life, have lived great lives throughout religion, have done things living through that way.
They've also committed some of the most horrendous things ever in the name of religion.
People have committed atrocities while believing in religion and while not believing in religion.
Religion
people have done that in the name of Satan as well. Remember the Night Stalker? The Night Stalker,
which is also religion.
In court, hell, Satan,
but it's still part of the religion. Right? Just because he's on the bad side, he's still following that religion. That religion says Satan does all these things.
We're talking about the symbol of a member in that religion and how they tried to spin in. You know what I mean? And twist what the symbol of him is. Right, it's trying to redefine a battle.
I think this is too deep. This should be a whole podcast episode by itself. Like, because you got
I have to watch it. You know what I mean? Because like it could be obviously like.
But what Jamal's saying is this is one of how many things are they trying to push to get people to believe other things that aren't the truth. You know what I'm saying? And they do it through entertainment. But really, they have an agenda behind that entertainment. Like Jamal was saying, everything they market towards kids. Why do you think candy is bright and they have bright colors and it's right by the aisle?
I get that.
Because what happens when you're going to pay for food? What's the kid want?
So how does somebody make something that's only for adults and not get criticized if a kid watches it?
Okay, wait.
You don't know that that's only for adults.
It says it is.
Listen. It does say.
He just pulled it up.
Listen, it does say they're marketing it for adults. They market porn for adults. Kids watch porn all the time. Kids want to do things they're not supposed to do.
So should they not make porn?
I don't think they should.
No.
I don't think they should.
It's not a good thing for society, you know.
But at the same time, cartoons are marketed towards kids, right? So if you're making a cartoon and you're marketing it towards adults, it's always 99% of the time marketed towards kids.
It makes it a lot easier to manipulate and control and have and create and promote anarchy when you blur the line of right and wrong. So for the longest, you understood what the symbol of Satan and all of those things were. Right. If you start to try to blur that idea, try to conflate, oh, maybe it was right, well, maybe he was misunderstood and things like that, it starts to what is morally right and what is morally wrong.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but I think people don't need religion to know that.
But that's what the agenda is, to blur that line so you can blur that line so it's a lot easier to manipulate you or convince you to do things that are on the wrong side.
So if you're not religious, you're easily manipulated by the system?
Is that what you got from that?
Like, I don't understand.
Is that what you got from that?
Pretty much. Like, how are you manipulated by the system? How is that like cartoon an agenda pusher? Like they're trying to make Satan a good guy.
How is it not?
How is it not?
For who? What do they want you to believe Satan's good now?
What did I just say?
That doesn't make sense to me.
It's about blurring the line.
But what if you're not religious? Then there's no line to be blurred. If you're not, you don't need religion to tell you what's right and wrong.
Even if you're not religious, you know the symbol. You know what the symbol of Satan is. You know the symbol of Satan is evil.
Okay, and if someone
versus good,
you know how many comics there? You know how many comics there are where Satan's a good guy?
But listen to what I'm saying, bro. So if you can the conflation of the conflation of good and evil, what's right and what's wrong, if you can blur those two, which is what that does, because any kid that's heard about Satan, which is fucking pretty much almost anybody on the planet, has some knowledge of religion. Even if you're not religious, you have some knowledge of religion. You are told to some degree about Satan, the war between the war between good and evil, Satan versus hell and heaven, and all these things. You know about those two things. That was a way to conflate that of what's right and what's wrong.
So think about this, right? So let's say you're not like a Buddhist or some shit like that, right? Any other religion that you're not claiming. This story comes out where that God or that prophet is actually bad, and they actually killed a bunch of people just from somebody else making up the story. You know what I'm saying?
So are you saying
even though you're not religious, you're still looking in from the outside saying, "Oh, okay, well, this is that." You don't really know what's right and wrong when it comes to that religion.
I mean, you don't need religion to tell you what's right and wrong, is what I'm saying. Like, I think people naturally have
but it's still
ability to differ. Like, I shouldn't murder and rape and pillage on their own.
It's how do people know that? How would they know that? Because in human nature, back in the beginning to its rawest form, before any of that, that's what they were doing.
They're also like, we're naturally like groupie, like we're naturally make communities and group. Like we don't.
You can agree we're animals,
even you
right?
could never go to school or be taught anything. A person doesn't naturally go out in the world and be like, I want to freaking murder you and do all like.
If they get angry,
some
they
people
do.
that might, yeah.
If they get angry, they might. If they get angry, they will.
If that's what they
if
taught.
they have to,
bro. If that's what they taught as a kid.
They have to have a reason.
In nature, bro, we're animals, right? In nature, what happens? What happens when an animal gets ticked off at another animal? He tears them to shreds. If a lion crosses another lion and they quarrel,
they're going to fight.
They're going to fight. So it's animal instinct.
To just see somebody want to kill them.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You're saying if they might have a reason.
What the fuck I'm
people
saying.
People who have religion now kill people with reasons.
That's not what the fuck I'm saying.
You're saying because animalistic nature, we're just going to want to kill people. I don't understand. I'm not understanding. I'm not really understanding what
you're not understanding because you're not hearing to understand. You're not even trying to listen. You're just saying shit just to say shit. You literally just ask. The breakdown of how an animal of you don't think people naturally are just just come. We're talking about people in their rawest form. People in their rawest form are animals. That's why I use that example. Because you said, I don't think people are just
well, then how did they develop back
people
then?
Don't want to just go out and just naturally go out and just kill people.
No,
they might not want to just no. In society, which society was founded off of religion. Society was founded off of religion.
But how did they come up with that if they were so animalistic and primitive back in the day that they couldn't?
Through religion.
How did they discover religion if they were just dumb animals?
Bro.
Yeah.
Hold on. Because you said, how did they find religion? Because somebody over time started to develop to think in a different way. Conscious. Maybe they lost a family member or something that changed them. Maybe they experienced it in a way that changed them. Or the Lord came and started speaking to them.
I think it was a way for people to come up with answers to things they had no answers to. Like, what is the sky? What is the sun? What is this?
So let me ask you this. And I'm going to be real. I'm not religious. I just grew up around religion a lot and I understand it. You think the world is better without religion?
I think religion's a personal thing.
Do you think the world is better without religion?
I mean, I don't necessarily see a reason for it, but I don't know what the world looks like without it either. So,
thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal.
That's why people aren't just going out just killing people.
Because someone else told them they shouldn't do that?
Because it was taught. that.
Yeah, but if
from
people
the beginning,
wanted to do
it was told in the Bible, you were given the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments were passed out. These are the laws, and these are what we're taught. And they were echoed throughout all of fucking mankind, through all of humanity. People who have never spoken to each other all came up with their own religions and their own personal moral codes.
Yeah, they came up with.
And that's what religion is. But that's what religion is. It's belief. It's your beliefs.
Yeah, personal. So I get it. That's fine.
So it doesn't matter if it's personal. Bro, you're conflating two different arguments because it was about how they were using it to program and use things. And now you're trying to just, it's your own personal beliefs. And that's what's that. How does that conflate with the same?
You're saying they're trying to use a cartoon to make you're saying they're going to use this cartoon to take down Christianity?
Did I say that?
They're going to blur this moral.
Is that what I said? Blurring the lines.
They're blurring the moral. And what in turn would that do?
It's programming. It's programming.
I don't agree. That's all. Simple as that. I just don't agree with, especially with that one thing.
So what is it program? So you don't even know what I'm saying is programming for or against. You're just
saying the moral line, the moral code, what's good and what's wrong.
It is. It's meant to blur. So you mean to tell me that story you don't see how that story can blur someone's moral lines?
No, I don't think if a cartoon tells you, hey, guess what? It is okay to kill people. I'm like, oh, okay. No, I don't. I don't think that cartoon's going to blur anyone's moral line. I really don't. But that's my opinion.
Okay. So, all right. Let me see if I can give you an example of what I mean, right? Of how. Let's say you don't believe in Santa Claus, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't believe in Santa Claus, but your kids believe in Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
And every year, like every parent does, they tell them, if you're not good, Santa's not going to bring you presents.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this works. This keeps your kids in line. How's that a hard thing to believe that kids want presents?
I know. I'm not saying that.
You just turned your face up like it's a hard thing to believe.
You're saying this works. I'm saying how many kids actually follow that strict code?
See what I'm saying? You see how hard it is for him just to follow the simple fucking concept of what I'm saying? Bro, it's very simple. Just imagine. Now just think. Like I said, if most kids, if you tell them something is going to be taken away from them, like you even just said you would rather have you would rather get an ass whooping than have your Xbox taken from you. But you don't understand that concept of how a kid who believes in Santa Claus wouldn't want to be bad, so they wouldn't end up on the night list and not get presents. Then what was the
I'm saying I understand that it's like,
but the minute I said it,
that only clicks in when it's only right around Christmas. The minute I said it was like you look like you didn't know what I was talking about. You're saying kids follow that, like they stick to it.
I said if. I just said I'm using an example.
Okay.
I said that before I even started using the example. Like, come on, bro. Like I said, now if you're telling them this is your system, all right, if you're bad, Santa Claus isn't coming, you're not going to get any presents, right? Your kids are listening to this. This is how you get them to behave. Now somebody comes along and says, hey, well, I was bad. I acted up. Little Timmy over here acted up, and he still got everything he wanted for Christmas. You don't see how that's going to start blurring the moral line of your kids?
Yeah, I can see that.
That's the same thing with that video. Because for so long they've been told, hey, you don't want to do this. This is the devil speaking to you. Satan, this is Satan speaking to you. He's been the symbol of what's wrong. That's him speaking to you. You need to speak against him. He has been the enemy. He is the enemy. And now they're telling him, no, he was just misunderstood. He was just misunderstood. He meant well for you. And he was punished for it. You get what I'm saying? You don't see how that blurs a moral line?
Yeah, I could see how that would blur a moral line.
That's all the fuck I'm saying. I'm glad it took us an extra hour to get around to that, though.
I don't see how that cartoon meets that, is what I was saying. That's all. I don't see
it. Hey, we're going to leave that. Hey, well, here's the thing. We'll leave that for people at home to watch and see if they can break down and figure that out. At least we got some controversy in the show. You know I love you, though, brother.
I love you, too, bro.
You make no fucking sense at this moment, but hey, I got you.
Feelings mutual.
I am fucking, bro. I am baffled. Bro, I am baffled. I was bad, bro. What?